Namaskar. Today's session is quite an important session because what mistake we often do as parents, about that I'm going to talk to you. See, a very, very simple funda it is, whether you are a mother or you are a father, you do not like to be compared. Am I right? All right. सपोज हस्बैंड ने बोला अपनी वाइफ से कि आपकी वो यार उनके यहाँ मैंने वो सब्जी खाई थी बहुत टेस्टी थी, तुम भी सीखो यार उनसे कैसे बनाती है वो. चलो सीखने वाली बात इज़ ओके, दैट्स फाइन. ओके, द रेसिपीज़ में ये सब चलता है. लेकिन जब आप अपने बच्चे से आप ये कहते हैं कि देखो मिस्टर शर्मा का बेटा तो इतना घंटों सुबह से शाम तक बैठा रहता है, and then he doesn't parents don't need to tell him also sit and study. On his own he is studying and he is doing so well in his exams. For you that is just a statement, all right, but for him you don't know what a tormenting situation it is for that child to hear this. All right, there may be so many things that your child is doing and Mr. Sharma's child is not doing. All right, but then are you pointing out those things to your child कि बेटा तुम तो बहुत ये सारे काम करते हो, शर्मा जी का लड़का तो ये सारे काम करता ही नहीं है, यू सो गुड यार. कभी बोला है आपने ऐसे? अगर आपने ये नहीं बोला तो आप ये क्यों बोलना चाहते हैं कि वो तो इतनी पढ़ाई कर रहा है और तुम बिल्कुल, तुम्हें कोई चिंता ही नहीं है. सी, you put your child in isolation. That is, whatever you have to speak, you tell your child, sit and study beta, you're not studying, you're not doing this, but do not bring anybody else in that scenario. Another mistake that we do is, suppose your son has got a younger sister or a younger brother, and the younger brother is very, very bright in studies. And then in the parent teacher meet, you go and meet the teachers, and then you say, my younger child, I don't have to say anything to him. On his own he gets up, on his own he studies, he does everything on his own. But this elder one, to my God, he's taking, I don't know what to do about him. So here you have done the biggest mistake. In case you think that your child is going to understand all these things and is going to work hard because the younger brother is working hard or Mr. Sharma's son is working hard. No, you are mistaken. Instead, what you need to do is you have to stand by the side of the child. You have to ask him questions. You have to understand his psychology. What are those things that are going to motivate him? What are those things that are going to bring studies closer to him? All right, and then talk on those particular lines instead of comparing him with the neighbor's son, comparing him with the younger sibling or the elder sibling. That's the biggest mistake that we all do. Even I must have done it when my son was growing up. So this is number one rule that you need to remember from today onwards. Please do not compare your child with anybody else. Each one of us is a unique person. Each one of us has a unique tendency. We all are different from each other. That should be respected. It should not be criticized. Mr. Sharma's son may be good in one thing and may not be good in the other thing in which your son is better than him. So if you are talking everything about Mr. Sharma, talk to your son about his deeds that he is bad in and your son is good in. If you're doing both the things, then it is understood. All right, but if you're just taking his good qualities and comparing those good qualities with your son and not seeing your son's good qualities, that's a very, very wrong thing that you are doing. All right, so please, if you are hearing me, if you are listening to me, if you think that this tip is of some importance, please start taking care of this from this very minute, from this very moment, and you'll find a hell of a change in your son's life or your daughter's life. All right, they do not want to be compared in any respect. None of us wants to be compared. If the mother starts comparing her own husband with somebody else's husband, just think what that husband is going to feel. So when that does not apply to your own husband, so the mother has to think, why she's applying this on her own son. Alright, this is number one thing. Number two is keep the child's sanctity, or you can say the child's good qualities, in the best of the spirit. That is, whatever he is good in, please appreciate. Don't think that if the child is not good in studies, so you stop appreciating him for any other thing. Alright, you need to appreciate him for at least in whatever things he is good in. Alright, and once he starts getting that motivation, so then he will slowly and slowly start diverting his attention towards the weaker area of his. Alright. See, the happiness quotient is very important. As parents, we need to understand that what are those things that make my child happy. Unless and until the child is happy, he will not concentrate much on studies. Though each child knows in his heart that my parents are looking for being a good student, a meritorious student. But every child cannot be good in studies. Good means good, alright, but not the best one. Alright, so you need to understand what is the capability of your child, to what stage you can stretch the child's working towards the studies. If you are able to understand that, just give him small targets. Oh child, if you could have got 7 out of 10, I would have been so happy. Don't ever say 10 out of 10 I want. Why? Ask yourself why. Did you get 10 out of 10 every time as a student when you were a child? Alright, so why you are expecting such larger goals to be realized by your own son or your own daughter? Alright, and always, when you are in touch with the teacher, just don't go on complaining. ये तो मेरी सुनता ही नहीं है, पढ़ने बैठता ही नहीं है, ये काम करता ही नहीं है, जब तक मैं इसको बोलती हूँ तब तक कुछ करता ही नहीं है. Every time I have to nag him, tell him. All these negative statements, they get blocked over here in the brain of the child, and the child feels that whatever I will do, my mother is never going to be happy. Alright, so it's better that I have my own sweet will and enjoy my own sweet life and let everything be sidelined. Alright. But then when his small things make you happy, and you make your child know about those small things, that oh my god, you did so wonderfully good, you made such a nice painting, yaar, so good. Alright. And then in a very lighter note, you can say later on after 5-10 minutes, oh dear, acha, have you prepared for your exam? Okay, if you've not, shall I sit with you? Will you be able to do it on your own? Oh, come on, I'm sure you can do it. These are the statements. I'm there standing at your backside. I'm there with you. Okay, have you ever spoken this sentence to your child? I'm there with you. I'm there in your thick and thin. How many times have you spoken this? And you're expecting so many things from your child. Once you say, I'm there with you. Once you say, whatever you do, I'm sure it is going to be good only. I know you understand better. Because now your child is a growing up child. He's stepped into adolescence age. Alright, so expect some responsibility from him, no? You have to trust him. Trusting is so important, please. From your trust only, the child who is here will go here and there. Only your trust in your child will make him achieve targets higher than his limit. But once the child knows that whatever I do, everything falls into deaf ears of my parents, they are hardly there to understand me. Alright, this thought, whatever he is capable of doing also, he will not be able to do it. So I think 2-3 points very important for you. That is, appreciate your child for whatever he is good in. Do not compare your child with the neighbor's son or daughter or his own elder or younger siblings. Then be there for him. At least he should have this confidence that my parents are there with me. All right, even if I don't score well, then also my mom is not going to be angry or upset about it. All right, and then tell the child that if you're here, you can be here. If you're here, you can be here. Small targets. Don't give him too big targets. All right. Thank you so much. Namaskar.